In this city, poor people are treated like garbage. One young boy gets tired of the disrespect and becomes a kidnapper to build his own wealth. However, his latest target is going to change his whole life. Lagos is the largest city in Nigeria, which is divided into two parts: the luxurious island where the rich enjoy all the facilities one could ever imagine, and the second part is the mainland where the average and below-average families work and live. All the central markets and airports are present in the mainland, but its security conditions aren't favorable. Recently, many kidnapping cases have been reported in the mainland. All of them happen to kids of rich families. To cope up with this situation, the elite group are trying to develop new safety technology. A famous scientist, Tunda Martins, is also working on such technology. He even designed a robot that apparently looks like a pet lizard, but when the danger arrives, the lizard uses a feature called the Ija mode to transform into a giant defensive robot. However, Tunda hasn't achieved complete success in his project, so he keeps working all day and night. Tunda also has a cute daughter named Tola. She just turned 10 and can't wait to enjoy the freedom of a preteen. Tola also lives on the island and has a huge mansion. Several robots are always at her service, so she doesn't have to bother doing any work at all. However, Tola is a mischievous child who is always looking for new ways to have fun. She wants to celebrate her birthday in a unique way and prepares her favorite dessert. She even decorates the living area and dresses up in a festive way. The only thing missing right now is her dad. The family driver is going to pick Tunda from the airport, but Tola begs him to take her along. The driver can't say no to her and invite her inside the car. Tola gets really excited because she never saw the mainland. They get stuck in traffic, but their luxurious car can even fly. As soon as they reach the airport, Tola runs to her father, but he's not happy to see her in this dangerous area. He even forgets her birthday and starts scolding Tola for being careless. Outside the airport, hundreds of homeless people are begging for food and medicine, but Tundi ignores them and gets inside his car. The driver has brought Tunda's favorite agege bread, which he shares with Tola. This bread is a specialty of his hometown, Ajagunle. Tola really wants to visit Ajagunle, but Tunde doesn't want to look back at his past. After returning home, Tola tries to remind her dad about her birthday, but he's too busy talking on his phone. To change her mood, Tola goes to meet her only friend, Cole, their gardener. He's just a servant, but Tola never feels disgusted by him and treats him like a real friend. Cole excuses himself because he needs to throw the trash, but Tola insists on helping him as she's really bored. Meanwhile, Tunda is still busy working on his project. His investor, Mrs. Usman, is continuously calling him because they need to launch this robot in 2 days. Mrs. Usman also wants to do live testing, so she asks Tunde to give the lizard to his daughter. Tunde finally remembers Tola's birthday. He can give her the lizard as a birthday present. He immediately rushes to her but gets angry on seeing Tola's dirty clothes. He believes it's a disrespect for their family to do house chores. After scolding poor Tola, he gives her the robot lizard, Oten. If Tola takes good care of it, she will get to visit any place she wants. Tola hates lizards, but she wants to visit Ajagunle, so she agrees to complete this task. Meanwhile, the notorious kidnappers are looking for their new target and choose Tundi's family. The kidnappers' boss is a chubby man named Bode. When he was a child, his mother worked as a servant of a rich family. Bode was tired of living in poverty, and he stole some money to buy his favorite gold chain. The house owner found out about this and fired Bode's mother. The mother asked Bode to return the money, but he didn't want his mother to continue this job. The rich had more money than they ever needed, but they still didn't pay enough to the poor. Bode also wanted to wear good clothes and get respected by others. Life isn't fair to all, so Bode has chosen the wrong way to fulfill his desires. His assistant, Miss Happiness, brings the ransom money from their latest kidnapping. Bode distributes a small amount among his employees and asks them to return the kidnapped boy. He also tells Miss Happiness to locate Cole, who seems to have an old connection with them. Meanwhile, Cole is busy working day and night in the gardens. He notices the small errors in the gardening machine and fixes it immediately. He seems to have talent in robotics, but his talent is useless because he's just a poor kid. Tundi arrives to check on him and scolds Cole for making Tola carry the garbage bags. It was not Cole's mistake, but he has to apologize because he's the poor one. Tola has no idea what her friend is facing because of her. She's busy enjoying her carefree life and dressing the lizard. Tola suddenly notices Cole sweeping the floor while dancing, so she joins him too. Cole enjoys Tola's company, but he stops dancing when he gets a call from Miss Happiness. Tola believes that all the garden work is done, so she asks Cole to keep playing with her. Cole shows her the garbage bags and says that the privileged only see the beauty, but they don't see the price that must be paid to make it happen. Tola feels sorry for him and invites him to dinner as her father will be working late tonight. Cole agrees, but he has no idea what Bode is planning for him. Bode has been researching Tunde's background and gets excited to know that he's the CTO of the country's only security company. If they get their hands on Tunde, they can access all the information stored in his computer database. It will have the lists of all millionaires that Bode can blackmail to get more money. Meanwhile, Cole is enjoying the little bits of luxuries because of Tola. They sit down for dinner, but unlike Tola, Cole is served with cheap food. Tola wants to make him happy and offers to trade their plates. She also wants to take Cole on her trip to Ajagunle. His father also belonged to the same hometown. Suddenly, Tunde arrives and gets angry on seeing a servant sitting on the dining table. Tola tries to defend Cole, but Tunde says that Cole is only taking advantage of Tola's kindness. Though his work shift is over, Tunde orders Cole to go and clean the gutters so he can remember the place he belongs to. Tunde also cancels the deal he made. Tola is not allowed to visit the mainland ever. Tola gets locked in her room while Cole is wandering in the heavy rains looking for a bus. The driver asks him to pay extra money, so Cole decides to walk instead. Suddenly, he gets a call from Bode, who wants to meet him right now. A few months ago, Cole was living a totally different life. His mother had a decent job that allowed her to bring food on their table, but she needed more money to invest in Cole's education. She wanted him to become a doctor. Bode often gave loans to the poor, so Cole's mother also contacted him. He offered to give Cole a job, but his mother wanted him to study. Bode agreed to lend the money, but it must be returned in monthly installments. Moreover, Cole must help Bode if he ever asks for it. Unfortunately, Cole's mother fell ill. She couldn't continue her job and the loan money was used in her treatment. Cole eventually goes to meet Bode and requests him to wait for month end to receive the payment. However, Bode hasn't called him to get back the money. He needs a favor. He wants Cole to bring Tola, and in exchange he'll pay for all the medical expenses of Cole's mother. Cole doesn't want to harm Tola, but he can't let his mother die either. The next day, Tola lies to Cole and the driver that Tunde allowed them to visit the mainland. Cole only gets to know the truth after reaching their destination. Tola wants to explore the whole city, and luckily Cole is there to guide her. This is a good chance for Cole to fulfill Bode's request, but he doesn't want Tola to suffer. He keeps an eye on her and protects her from all the possible danger. He doesn't let her buy anything from the scamming vendors except for a traditional scarf. After wandering the roads, they sit down to eat. Tola thanks Cole for his help and gives him a high-tech glasses that can be used to make calls. This reminds Cole of Bode's calls. Before he tracks them, Cole must take Tola back to the island. He grabs her hand and starts running back to their car. Unfortunately, Bode's men have already spotted him. Tola's lizard, Oten, is following them too, but a sudden error shuts it down. Cole asks Tola to run away while he distracts the kidnapper. Unfortunately, Miss Happiness finds Tola. Meanwhile, Tunde is busy working on his project. He can't risk losing this job. Tunde still remembers the time when he lived in Ajagunle. He was friends with all the locals and promised to make their lives better once he got the job. Tunde couldn't even afford a taxi and traveled using the jumping shoes he invented by himself. Tunde got late for his interview, and Mrs. Usman refused to give him a chance. Tunde begged for an opportunity and showed his inventions. Mrs. Usman eventually hired him because of his potential, but she told him one thing: they will be working to make the rich people's life better, not the poor ones. Tunde agreed on these terms, and since then he never looked back at Ajagunle. While working on his project, Tunde gets a notification from Oten. He immediately calls the driver and asks why he took Tola to the mainland. The call gets interrupted by another call. It's a masked man who claims to have Tola. He wants 50 million delivered in 2 hours. It's Bode, of course. Miss Happiness tricked Tola and brought her to their hideout. Tola has no clue that she's being kidnapped and happily introduces herself. Bode tells her that she is brought here because her father needs to be taught a lesson in fairness and generosity. Tola innocently agrees to cooperate and promises to cause no trouble to Bode. Meanwhile, Cole is looking for Tola everywhere. He returns to the car and asks the driver to help him so they can find Tola. Cole sends his mother with the driver so Bode can't blackmail him using his mother. Afterward, he starts running away to hide from Bode's men. On the other hand, Tunde finally returns to Ajagunle and meets his old friend who's a police officer. Tunde never knew that one day he'll be begging to a poor man for help. The police officer refuses to help because Tunde has never helped him in the 30 years since he got the job. He has no other option besides paying the ransom money. Unaware of this situation, Tola is playing cards with Bode's men and uses her cuteness to win the game. Bode notices her and advises her not to take advantage of others' kindness. Bode not only kidnaps rich kids, he also teaches them some valuable life lessons. Suddenly, Miss Happiness informs him about Tunde's arrival. He brought the money, but Bode asks why he contacted a police officer. Tunde apologizes, but Bode wants him to bring 200 million more to get his daughter. Meanwhile, Cole is still running away from the kidnappers. Luckily, Oten is disturbed by a stray kid and it turns on again. It arrives to help Cole and introduces itself. After getting trained in simulations for months, Tunde had given Oten a chance to explore the real world. Oten was worried that without Ija Mood she can't protect Tola, but Tunde assured her that Tola won't get in trouble. But he was wrong. Tola got kidnapped. The simulations he made didn't reflect the real world because Tunde was always isolated from the real world. He was even isolated from his own daughter. Now Oten is the last hope of Tola's rescue. Cole gets shocked to know Oten's reality, but they must hurry to find Tola. The kidnapper tries to run away, but Oten sticks under his car. Tunde arrives there by tracking Oten, but finds only Cole there. Kobe confesses his mistake of helping the kidnappers, but now he wants to assist Tunde in finding Tola. Tunde lets him sit in the car and wants to know the whole story. Cole starts from the beginning and explains how his mother dreamed of making him a doctor, but life wasn't easy. This reminds Tunde of his own struggles and he feels sorry for Cole. Meanwhile, Tola is forced to hear all of Bode's boring life stories. She keeps smiling so she can get a chance to steal the phone and call her dad. Suddenly, the kidnapper arrives there and says that the snake Cole ran away. Tola gets angry at his friend being called a snake, but Bode tells her the whole truth. Cole is the one who helped them in tracking her. Tola feels heartbroken and returns to her room. Luckily, Oten has sneaked in as well and meets Tola. Ija Mood can help Tola escape, but Oten's low battery is getting in the way. Luckily, Tunde and Cole use the tracking system to reach the hideout. However, it is hidden behind a chicken shack. They must find another way to get Bode. Cole reveals all the information he has, but none of them is helping them get to Bode. Suddenly, Cole remembers that he always recorded all his phone calls with Bode in which he confessed his crimes. Tunde sends the call recordings to Bode and threatens to forward them to the police if his daughter is not released. Bode keeps Tunde busy on the phone while his men go outside to catch them. Tunde is taken to Bode while Cole is thrown into Tola's room. Seeing him, Tola remembers what he did, and she gets really disappointed. She recalls the first time she saw Cole. She was so happy to meet someone of her age and believed that they would become best friends. However, Cole deceived her. She doesn't even want to listen to his explanation. Cole gets angry at her behavior and says that she has no idea what Cole went through. He never meant to deceive his friend, but life is harder when you have no money. Tola is slowly understanding him, but she doesn't know what to say. Meanwhile, Tunde is tortured by Bode. Miss Happiness suggests they should take the money and end this here, but Bode has different plans. He wants the database of Tunde's company. Tunde agrees to do anything to save his daughter, but he needs his own PC to access the database. They all break into Tunde's house and shut down the security system. The kids are brought to and locked in a room. Cole checks Oten and realizes that they need the charger and a power source to fix it. Tola volunteers to get the charger. She pretends to cry and asks the kidnappers to take her to Tunde. She distracts Bode with her conversation and steals the charger. Afterwards, she asks to go to the toilet and escapes to meet Cole. Together, they defeat a kidnapper and start fixing Oten. Afterward, Tola gets her dad's phone glasses and rushes to his office. Miss Happiness gets in the way, but Oten arrives for help. Cole has fixed the issues and Oten successfully gets into the Ija Mood. It fights with Miss Happiness while Tola runs to her dad. Tunde failed to copy the database, which made Bode really angry. In frustration, he confesses all of his crimes. Little does he know, Tola is on call with Mrs. Usman, and Bode's confession is broadcasted live in the whole city. The police arrive and arrest Bode while his team deceives him and runs away. Cole unites with his mother and gets ready to return to his miserable life. But this whole incident taught a lot to Tunde. He admires how Cole fixed Oten and offers to pay for his education if he wants to study technology. Cole immediately agrees and looks forward to a better future. There's enough resources in this world for each one of us. The imbalance is caused by the greedy people who only knows how to take but not how to give to others.